Okay, here's another tip. If it doesn't rot, don't eat it. Okay, so think about that box of let's just say a TV dinner. Do they rot? No, they stay in the freezer for years and years and years at a time. So that's probably not something good to eat. So what if you took a steak? And I'm not sure about TV dinner. If you took a TV dinner out and you thawed it and left it uncovered, would it eventually rot? Maybe eventually, but my guess is there's tons of preservatives in there, and it's not gonna rot very fast. Now, what is rotting? Rotting is literally when mold grows on something, so a fungus or bacteria. And those, that's how mold, fungi, and bacteria survive, is they eat other things, right? They grow on other things, and that's what they consume. Well, so if they're not able to, if there's preservatives that kill off bacteria and fungus, because that's literally what preservatives do. They prevent mold and fungus, which are in the same category, and bacteria from growing on something. And that's what the preservatives do. And they would prevent like protozoa and stuff too, which is in a different kingdom. But so if mold and bacteria cannot grow on this stuff, how good is it going to be for us? Can we assimilate it as nutrients? Probably not, or not very well. So if it doesn't rot, don't eat it. That's a good tip. And that's just also a tip that if you do that, you're eating mostly whole foods. So does that mean that you can eat bread? Yeah, it does. Because bread will rot. It will mold, right? Most breads, not all breads, because they have so much preservatives in them. Ezekiel is a great one, but you have to put it in the freezer, because if you don't put Ezekiel bread in the freezer, if you leave it out at room temperature for one day, it'll start molding. Maybe I'm exaggerating, one day maybe, but you look back in history when, our parents and our grandparents baked bread. When they baked that bread from scratch, if you left it out for a few days, of course, it never lasted more than a day. For one, they were small loaves and you're feeding a big family. But it molded within a few days because there was no preservatives in it. So just realize that. So, and I don't necessarily think bread is, carbs get such a bad rap. I don't necessarily think bread is what's killing us. Should you eat a loaf of bread every day? No. But I don't think that's what the problem is. Humans have survived on leavened bread for thousands of years without any problems. It wasn't until the last 50, 60 years that we've started having problems. And that's just because we have access to too much of it, in my opinion.